Alpha Geek Radio on, oh, wait. Nope, I forgot to do NosillaCast. We are not live on the app yet. We are now live on the app. We should be live on Alpha Geek Radio. We are live on the Google Hangout. And I am goofing around with Sandy in the live chat room talking about Apple Watch bands. So I am going to send her a link in the live chat room now so I can stop talking about it. But I found a stainless steel link metal watch band, off brand, but it looks kind of nice. I'm kind of intrigued by it. Well, I want the people in the Google Hangout to hear Steve because he sounds like he's took up smoking over the weekend. Come on, Steve, go off mute. Talk to the fans. He's not doing it. Come on, Steve. Okay, he's just playing. He's off mute, but he's not paying attention to me, so he's not playing. He's not talking to you. I don't know why he's doing that. Steve, can you hear me? Okay, I guess not. He must be working on Alpha Geek Radio. All right, it is. I'm intrigued by that one, Sandy. I think we might get one of those over here and see what it looks like. All right, let me go ahead and take roll call. We've got potentially Donald and Steve and Brett, Kevin, Laura, Dorothy, John, Sandy, and another Steve for some reason. He likes coming in twice. Oh yeah, and that watch band, Sandy. I'm thinking the silver one is what I think might look good to me. Not sure. Are you going to say hi, Steve?
Hi.
Come on, that's all you're going to give him?
That's about all I can give him.
Oh, wow. He's poor Steve. He's had a rough time of it, but he's finally on the mend. All right, Steve, why don't you go off air? Let me do a little test playback here, see how things are looking. I continue to be baffled by where the playhead or the insertion point is in Amadeus Pro, but let's go ahead and try a recording here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. All right, now let me go ahead and play back and make sure you guys can hear it. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com.
We have
Hi,
playback.
this is... What's that?
We have playback.
We have playback. Okay, good. Oh my God, what did you just pick like a random location to insert? Steve's mad at me because I'm not yelling at the developer about why I can't ever figure out how to use this app. It's the weirdest thing. It's got strange habits. All right. One of your jobs is to make sure that after the first piece I record, I go back and turn the music on and set it up right. I totally forgot to turn the music on. It's in a track by itself, but I keep it silenced because for some reason I can't talk while that music is playing in the originating song. So I ended up having to go back. I actually posted it without music. So if you got it quickly enough, you might have gotten it without music, but eventually I did get it with music, but it didn't start. The timing wasn't quite right. All right. We've been joined by Joe and Sybil are back. That's good. All right. Joe, actually, has Joe been here before? I know Sybil has been before. All right. Let's see if that's recording the right place. We're going to find out. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start the show. No. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, November 29th, 2015, and this is show number 551. Well, this weekend was Thanksgiving in the United States, which I think is an excuse to celebrate Black Friday. But anyway, I'm going to start out by telling you a story I call a Thanksgiving Day miracle. I'm not kidding. It really was. After that, George from Tulsa joins us to give a review of the Asus Chromebook Flip. He mentioned this in his review, but I specifically asked for help this week because I was hanging out with my family instead of working on the podcast most of the week. I also urged George to go long, so he included a bunch of other awesome information. This review, of course, is in the style only George from Tulsa can deliver. I was going to give you my impressions of the iPad Pro after a few weeks of use, after, all the gushing had worn off, but I think I'm going to hold off on that for a week or so because Bart joined me in an out-of-band Security Lite episode because we both really wanted to talk about the Dell certificate fiasco. If you haven't heard about this already or haven't gotten good detailed information on what it is, it's really, really interesting, and it's very important that we get the knowledge out there about what happened, who should be worried, how worried they should be, and most importantly, to hear how to fix this very serious problem. Yep, started in a random location. Okay, we're going to drive you. Whoop, we're going to drag you to there. Let's hear, and we're going to turn on play. There we go. Whew. Okay, let's hear the very beginning. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, November 29th, 2015, and this is show number 551. All right, I may never, actually, it should be able to do that. Yeah, let's hear that again. 29th, 2015, and this is show number 551. Yeah, it's close enough. All righty. Now I got it. So now I'm going to go to there. Start in this track. That track is dark, right? There. Okay. I think that's going to work. Here we go. Okay. Amazon Prime. This is a miracle story. This is really crazy. To here we go. George goes long. Here we go. Okay, why didn't you start? Oh, because I didn't hit the right thing. A few years ago, the kids got Steve an iGrill for Christmas. This is a gadget lover's dream. It's a set of cooking thermometers. Oh, that's stop. It's recording. Yeah, let's try that again. A few years ago, the kids got Steve an iGrill for Christmas. This is a gadget lover's dream. It's a set of cooking thermometers that communicate over Bluetooth to your phone, so you don't have to hover around the barbecue or even stand around looking at the oven, looking at the thermometers. Steve is a big barbecuer, and he especially likes the iGrill for cooking his Thanksgiving Day turkey. This year, he might have gone a little bit overboard. He bought a 30-pound turkey for 11 guests. That's not counting the ham he bought, too. Anyway, that meant that the bird had to get into the barbecue at about 9:30 in the morning. He got out the iGrill and it wouldn't turn on. A quick check, and as happens far too often, at least in our house, the batteries had leaked and corroded the contacts. Steve is practically a professional at fixing this problem, though. A few minutes with a nail file and a toothbrush, and the unit fired up with new batteries, so it was working okay. But for some reason, the iGrill refused to talk over Bluetooth. He took the whole thing apart, and remember, he's in the process of cooking for 11 people, and he discovered a broken plastic piece that was supposed to be holding some wires in place that he suspects controlled the Bluetooth module. Sadly, even armed with super glue, he was unable to repair the iGrill. He was going to have to use a standard cooking thermometer, like an animal. Lindsay and Kyle put their heads together on finding a way to try and get a new iGrill in his hands in time to help him cook his prized bird. Best Buy didn't open until 5 p.m. Of course, Circuit City's out of business, and this was far too specialized for an Office Depot to carry. Lindsay suggested to Kyle that he see if Amazon Prime Now was available in our area. We had never seen this before. We'd heard about it. So Kyle went out on Amazon, found out that indeed the Now option was available in my neighborhood. He clicked buy on the iGrill too. It was a $7.99 charge to have instant gratification, and it suggested a $9 tip. Shortly after agreeing to these conditions, Kyle received a notice giving him a real-time map of the driver's travels as they came to our house. He clicked buy at 10:13 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day, and at 10:28 a.m., the doorbell rang. Yes, in exactly 15 minutes from clicking buy to delivery, Steve had his shiny new iGrill 2 as an early Christmas present from Kyle, and Steve was one happy barbecuer. Amazon Prime Now was our Thanksgiving Day miracle. Isn't that crazy? 15 minutes. 15 entire minutes.
I was a bit shocked.
A little bit. All right, let me listen.
Pleasantly surprised.
That was crazy. Fix this very serious problem. A few years ago, the kids got Steve an iGrill for Christmas. Okay, that looks good. And we are here, there, and I'm going to do this. I don't know how to see what that is, but that seems to make it. Yeah. Oh, Dan's here. Hey, Dan. They're crowding in. Oh, Sandy doesn't have instant delivery. That's too bad. It was that was nuts. Well, I don't even know how you would find it on a shelf in that length of time. The only thing I could figure is that they somehow were able to, or they assumed that an iGrill would be the kind of thing that would need to be bought. That's all I could figure. All right, let's we're going to go to George from Tulsa next. No, I don't want to delete that blog post. Jeez, what are you thinking? Okay. Now I got to go find George. George. See, I need to add a track on the fly. Okay, now intro, outro. Oh, there's George.
So I have to ask Allison, was George's input long for some reason?
Yeah, I explained that already.
Ah.
You didn't hear me say that? I said George goes long.
Ah, I missed that.
Ah, that's why he
having technical difficulties.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he I explained at the beginning of the show that see, Steve doesn't actually listen anymore. I explained at the beginning of the show that I asked him to go long. All right, let's hear how that gap is. That looks like it's gonna be a little bit short. Time now was our Thanksgiving Day miracle.
What's the problem to be?
Actually, I think I'm gonna do a little bump in here for George. All right. Actually, I need notifications to turn off. You are bothering me. Do not disturb. There we go. Okay, here we go. What just happened? Textually, it just got mad at me. That might mean I won't get a notification if you say something to me, Steve, but that's what we're going to go. These textuals keep bouncing. Every time I move away from textual, it's bouncing in my dock. Okay. Seriously. Why is textual bouncing?
That's me.
What? Are you doing that on purpose?
Well, I was just trying to send you a little note.
That's great, dear. Thanks. Thanks. He's just making my dock bounce. That's great.
So notes are disabled?
Notes?
Through textual?
No, you're successfully. Notifications are not happening. I'm not getting it from the side, but I'm getting the bounce from below. So trust me, I can still see you, Steve. So this is good.
Right. Good.
Okay. Let's see. I want to just try recording here. All right, let's take a listen to George from Tulsa as he talks about his new Chromebook Flip. Oh, why did you go there? That's not where I wanted you to go. Really? Hang on. All right, let's. That is really bizarre. Okay, I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to try to get on the right track this time. Okay, now I got it. I see what I did. No, I don't know what I did, but I'm going to pretend I did so that Steve thinks I did. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's give a listen now to George from Tulsa as he talks about the Asus Chromebook Flip. Okay. Oh, I've got a setting set that I need to fix. I did that in pre-show. Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay. I'm going to do a cut of some sort. What are we doing wrong? Okay, let's see. Cut. And then we do the other. There we go. Okay, that's working as expected again. I don't know what was wrong last week. Okay, let me list this. On Prime Now was our Thanksgiving Day miracle. Okay, let's give a listen now to George from Tulsa as he talks about the Asus Chromebook Flip. How's that look? He talks about the Asus Chromebook Flip.
What's the problem to be solved? We hear that a lot from Allison, and for good reason. Right now, I hope I'm a solution, not a problem. Earlier this week, Allison posted a request for user submissions so she could have more holiday this Thanksgiving and less podcast. Hey, I know my Okie drawl can seem tedious to many of you hard chargers out there. Isn't that why there's a fast and faster setting on your podcast player? Problem solved. My own immediate problem is that when I volunteered to send in this segment, Allison requested it run 5 minutes or more. When you've heard me before, I've tried to use no more than 3. Thus, my mission impossible is to fill 5 minutes, give you your money's worth in tech content, and not undermine Allison's goal that you stay subscribed. You know how technology that solves one problem can create another? Freud said it so well. If there had been no railway to conquer distance, my child would never have left town, and I should need no telephone to hear his voice. Back in the dawn of time, my job revolved around a post office box. Income from investments flowed into that box as checks. Correspondence arrived days after posting, and no one expected an instantaneous response. When something was really urgent, there was the telephone, and most of the world tried not to use it when that meant paying Ma Bell's extortionate long-distance rates. Today, that investment money mostly arrives pre-deposited into banks and brokerage accounts, where I could safely let it sit in the U.S. Post Office for days if I wanted a break. Well, now the way it builds up could exceed my employer's insurance at a bank with FDIC coverage. It's easier to handle than processing a stack of checks, but it's also like running in place on a treadmill. I'm not going to go all TMI here, but in the last 4 months, I've had more important things to do than process electronic money at my desktop. And yet, the tide of money rolls in and must be processed. In short, the technology which changed my job requires a technological response. I'd found myself in a similar situation about 3 years ago.
I'm going to try something. I tried to get rid of the, George has been chasing down a hum on his mic for quite a while now, and I thought I had gotten it down pretty low. I just created another version of this with a lot of noise and hum reduction. It might be too much. I want to see whether this is better. So this, I'm going to double in this in here for just a second. Let's hear how the beginning of this sounds.
What's the problem to be solved?
No, that sounds exactly the same. Oh, I know what I did.
No, that one sounded worse.
Yeah, it sounded worse. Hang on. Let me run it again. I forgot to press the button that said noise and hum reduction. That's why. Does anybody know what Sybil is talking about? Minutes are now up.
She may be referring to George's minutes.
Oh, that he's out of time.
Just a guess.
Okay, so this will be done in just a second here. I'm writing a phonic leveler on it, which okay, here we go. Try this one here. Okay, where is George? Where am I? There we go. All right, so let me take this one, put it up there. So that one you just heard was with no hum reduction. That's what it was worth. 5 minutes was the intro, so he met the contractual obligations. There you go. Okay, so here it is with 100% reduction.
What's the problem to be solved? We hear that a lot from Allison, and for good reason. Right now, I hope I'm a solution, not a problem.
Yeah, I don't like that. What it's doing is it's making it be zero hum when George isn't talking, which just cuts out too abruptly. I think it's better the way it was. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that one and that one. I don't forget which one I care to keep. Okay. What was that?
12 minutes?
Yeah, it's 12 minutes long.
Oh, no.
It's great, though. I love it. He met my requirement was I needed some help. But no, it's really good. It's really interesting.
All right.
I read the review and it's fantastic. So no complaining. All right. So let's see. That's the end of that. And then I'm going to go into this one. And
George, you need to change your name to George Goes Really Long.
All right. Okay. So with any luck, I am in this. Why doesn't it show the red line anymore? Okay. Let's see there. I'm going to save and come back in because this is not showing me what it should show me. NosillaCast audio. Here we go. You know, an approved vendor. That's good. I like that. Okay. No, I've lost my little red line. I don't know where it is, but I hope it's there. And I'll start recording. Kirshen's here. Wow, it's a party. By the way, I don't know if it's worth doing the live show if I move the date, man, we get such a light audience. I think we had maybe 3 people here last week. They had fun, but still, it was awfully quiet. It's a big party there this time. All right. Here we go. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this one. Okay, I guess you have to just get out of the way. I guess I can't hide you completely. All right. I have to say, I was skeptical when George first talked about the Aces flip on our Google Plus community over at podfeed.com/Google Plus, as you could tell by my totally non-snarky comment about it being a netbook. I think he really gave his case well, and I got to admit, this seems like a really swell little device. I don't know that I need one, but now I kind of want one just to see what it's like. You know, George is the best about including a lot of links in his show notes along with images, and this time he did not disappoint. I converted all of the Amazon links to affiliate links, so if you do end up buying one on George's recommendation or the SSD he recommended, I sure appreciate your help, you using those links to help out the show. By the way, the November statement, which is 3 months in arrears, came out, and it looks like you guys are doing a great job using the links. You spent 28% more in August this year than you did last year. You know, as you know, I do not advertise for Clarify any longer, but I told you I would continue to tell you the more inspirational stories because I just can't stop. A year ago, Lindsay got a new iPhone and then realized that she had saved some very special voicemails and they were now gone. She's kind of cheap and didn't want to buy one of the tools that'll help you recover data from a backup, but I did some research for her. I found a blog post that explained how to do it, but it was kind of like, here's a terminal command, and that's all it was. It didn't give you any kind of instructions around it. So I incorporated that person's good work, and of course I gave them credit, and I created a Clarify tutorial with pictures and annotations and detailed explanations. This week, I received an email from Dennis that brought tears to my eyes. Here's what he wrote. Hi, Allison. I lost my voicemails from my late father while getting a new phone this weekend. I was dumbfounded, lost for words as I came to realize what had happened. I went for a mad scramble to figure out how to recover those memories. Luckily, I stumbled across your blog post and was able to recover those voicemails, hopefully for the long term. I just wanted to express my heartfelt thanks and gratitude for sharing this post. Having these voicemails back means so much to me. Well, I was so touched at the thought that one of my little tutorials could have such a great impact on someone. I will keep doing these tutorials forever. And it put it not where I told it to, but that's okay because I know how to move it. Let's test this. Oh, somebody's talking. Steve's talking to me. Can you dim your screen? Oh, you know what I never did? I never did this. This is why. And that. That's what you want. I forgot to do my I forgot to do the webcam settings. Okay, let's see if I figure out how this works. Let's see. If I go all the way to the end, that should be at about 1540. Let me go back here. And I'm going to say there's a thing to move. No, shoot. I'm trying to learn the tools of how to move these things. Move, play it, move, track, clip. Shift, track. No, I don't want to shift the track. I want to shift this selection. I want to shift, extend selection to location. No, go to location. Yeah, let's try that. Command Shift G. What did I, oh, my memory's so bad. What did I say it was? It's at 1540 something. So Command Shift G, 15 minutes, 40 seconds. Oh, I wonder what that did. All right, I'll drag it like an animal. This would be so much fun if you guys could see what I was doing. Uh-oh. May have broken something. Hang on. Where did that go? Okay. This is the problem. Let's see. Okay, so I need to split this clip. How do I split a clip? All right. Split clip. There it is. Okay. Okay. Now I can drag this one, right? Okay, there you go. But I need to shrink everything up so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to move you down to the end of George. And there we go. That should be about right. Now let's hear how that sounds. I got to figure out, put that on my to-do list, Steve. I got to figure out how to get the audience back, being able to watch what I'm doing.
You can't show your screen any longer?
I can show my screen or I can show me. What I need to do is figure out how to make a virtual video source like I used to. Like using Wirecast.
So you can show them simultaneously?
Right. Remember I used to have the video of the of GarageBand and me at the same time?
Yeah. Well, just show us your screen.
Just right now, just for the moment?
No, when you're working on it.
Yeah, it's kind of a hassle to move it back and forth, so I kind of don't do it, and then I usually forget to put it back, and then you guys yell at me and such.
I'll remind you.
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, that's a little long here.
We didn't hear anything if you were playing something.
I sure was.
Didn't hear a thing.
Really?
Nope.
Why?
Don't know. Did you just change something?
Huh. Let's think. I will stop. I'm going to stop and start audio hijack. That's probably what I think I know what happened. Okay, if I do playback now, do you hear it?
It shows how to add the power.
You hear that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
good. All right. I think when I quit Amadeus and restarted it, it doesn't reacquire in audio hijack is what happened.
The power of Ubuntu to yours.
Okay. Still too big of a gap. Trying to see the gap size. Okay.
How to add the power of Ubuntu to yours.
I have to say, I was I'm going to bring George down a little bit at the end there, just because that hum. If I can get do that. I'm gonna just see if I can bring him down just a little more slowly so that it's not such an abrupt change in our voices here.
Add the power of Ubuntu to yours.
I have to say, I was skeptical when George first talked about the... That's not too bad. All right. Save. All right. Good. So we're about 18 minutes. That's good. Oh, and there's my insertion point. It's back. My little green line, or my little red line. It's back. That's very exciting. Okay, so now I need my chit chat. My security light music. Where do you think that is? I think that is in GarageBand Jingles. All right. I'm going to need to add a track. Add a track. And this is going to be Security Light. So we need a new name with some alliteration for Security Light. Because Security Light doesn't seem to always be what it's really about anymore. Seems like it's often Security Medium. So we're not sure. We need something like Security Light. Help us come up with a name. It's WM. Do you know where your insertion point is? Oh, let's see. Security Light. This security thing is a wow. This is a doozy of a mess going on. Okay, let me fold up George for a little bit here. We can probably fold up the intro music because it seems to be working. Let me hear this transition here. Let's see. This one's probably going to come over like this, I would imagine. Let's hear how that sounds. I will keep doing these tutorials forever. Oh, that's probably not what I meant to do.
You liked it so much you went twice?
Shut up. Are you making fun of me, Steve?
Never.
No, not ever. Fine.
Security sparse from Sybil. That's not bad.
Security sparse. That's interesting. Unfortunate security events. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute.
About security, sort of.
Oh, man, what's going on? Ah! Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. That's what I meant to do. Ah! What did I just do? Boy, I really don't know what I'm doing. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of that. And then why did you... It scares me. It moves my point of view. And it looks like it destroyed everything, but it did not. There's no need to scream and panic. I don't know what everybody's screaming about. Scary security. Oh, I like it. But we don't just want to scare people. I told Bart this did count as Security Light because this is a story of a terrible, awful thing that Dell did. And but there's a thing you can do about it. So that is the requirement for Security Light. It didn't mean it had to be a nice, happy day in security. So security pertineer. Nice, John. All right, let's hear this transition. Tutorials forever. Way too long. Well, it's that time of the week. I will never understand why this records so much quieter. Well, it's that. This will get louder, don't worry. Well, it's that time of the week because I've asked Bart to step in. Let's see, maybe I'll pump it up just because it's going to bug Steve. Well, it's that time of the week because I've asked Bart to... All right, let me go to the other end. Whee! Because it's going to be getting steadily quieter if I don't go back. All right, I am almost done because that gets us to look at that show. That gets us to a nice 40 minutes. Yeah, I didn't have time to tell my iPad story today. That's why I don't have to work as hard next week. Do you guys want to listen to this for a little bit, or should we call class early? It's up to you guys. I'll start playing while I wait for your answer.
Give us at least 5 minutes.
Well, it's that time of the week because I've asked Bart to step in and give us a little bit of security stuff, as we're now calling it, maybe, because something big hit with Dell this week, and I didn't understand it, and I was hoping Bart could come in and tell us whether this fiasco is a fiasco to light our hair on fire or not. How are you doing today, Bart?
I'm doing grand, and maybe you should... Well, no, you shouldn't light your hair on fire because that's just bad for your hair. But no, this is one where you should take action.
Okay.
If you're affected. So anyway, enough sort of beating around the bush. It's Dell. So Dell have done a Lenovo. They did so for different reasons, but they've done a Lenovo. This whole, I think the nickname everyone's giving it is eDell root because the name of the certificate that's causing, or that initially alerted us to the fact that Dell have a problem is eDell root. So I've broken the show notes down into what happened, what that means, comparison to Lenovo, and then what you should do now.
Okay. All right.
So let's start with the facts as we know them, as they unfolded. So this week it emerged that Dell have started rolling out an updated version of something called Dell Foundation Services, which is software, as Dell would call it, or crapware, as I would call it, that comes with it comes pre-installed on Dells, and it contains a root certificate for no reason anyone can quite understand. And that gets installed into the Windows Certificate Manager. So in other words, it becomes part of Windows. It becomes a peer to every other root certificate on the planet, all the legitimate ones. So eDell root gets plopped in there along with all the rest.
No, remind us again, what is a root certificate?
So a root certificate is officially, it's called an anchor of trust. So the certificate for podfeet.com will be signed by an intermediate certificate, will be signed by a root certificate, which is owned by, I don't know, VeriSign or whoever it is did your search.
Okay.
So VeriSign, the end of the chain, the bottom of the chain is the root certificate. And there are about 300 of those in your browser. And then those root certificates sign intermediate certificates. And so there's 300 roots, it could be a couple of thousand intermediates and like millions of edge certs.
Okay. And only certain companies are allowed to provide root certificates. And that's every once in a while somebody gets in trouble for screwing that up and they get off the list of who's allowed to do it. Okay.
Right. But also you as the owner of your computer can install your own certificate. So it's very normal within a corporation to run your own internal certificate authority.
Okay.
And so every laptop that it belongs to the company will have a root certificate in it for the company. And that's also perfectly legitimate.
And that happens within an internal network, not external.
No, it doesn't have to be within a network. Once it's in your computer, you can take that computer anywhere and it will have those certs. So you can then use the company resources.
Okay.
But it's a random person on the internet would not trust a certificate signed by your company certificate authority. Only people who have your company's root cert will trust your company certificates.
Okay, so when Dell put eDell root into the Windows Certificate Manager, that made it look like a real root certificate from a certificate authority?
Well, you see, it doesn't really matter where they're from. Windows treats them all the same. So Windows just looks at its little cupboard of root certificates, and how it got there, Windows doesn't care about. If it's in the cupboard, it's trusted.
And that's not Microsoft making a mistake. That would be true if it was Apple.
Yeah,
right?
completely.
Okay,
I mean,
just checking.
I have my own root certificate here at home because I have my own firewalls and stuff, and I put SSL on them, and I really couldn't be bothered paying for the pleasure of messing around with stuff at home. So I am my own certificate authority, which all of my Macs trust, and I sign certs for myself. That's how it's supposed to work. Perfectly fine.
Okay.
So Dell created, so all of these Dell machines have the certificate. The thing is, they don't just have the certificate, they also have the private key.
Wait,
because the
machines have the private key?
Yes, they do. All the machines have a copy of the private key for that certificate. It is the same private key on every single Dell that is affected by this. And the password protecting, in the most terrible air quotes ever, this private key is Dell. 3 guesses how long it took the internet to crack that one.
Wow.
So that cert is that. So the private key for that cert is now everywhere. We should also say that initially we thought this only affected new laptops sold since August, but the more people dug, the more people realized that it seems to include desktops as well, and also that Dell have been pushing out updates to their crapware so that even people with older Dells who accepted the software updates now also have eDell root.
How far back? As far back as anybody's been accepting
To
the...
infinity, right? Yeah, if you accept the latest update to Dell Foundation Services, ta-da! You get yourself an eDell root. Now, it
We
didn't
don't know how many
Sorry.
people do that, but it would
Squeeze it
seem
out of
like
her.
normal people would click, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yes,
Oh.
it would.
Okay.
Now, the second shoe to drop, or the third shoe to drop, I've run out of shoes here. Turns out Dell didn't just pull this trick
Don't
once.
touch the mic.
There is a second, equally as broken certificate also installed in a whole bunch of Dell computers called DSD Test Provider. And that stands for Dell System Detect. Is software that Dell's support website tells people to install. And
Okay.
between October 24 or
just fell
20th and November
landed
24,
on my leg with a
the
claw.
version that was on the Dell website was installing this other vulnerable root certificate into all Dells.
Why? Tessa.
Well, because it's a little tool whose function in life is to tell Dell the service tag of your Dell.
Because
So
you
every
can't be
Dell-
bothered to read it off of the computer?
Yes. Or out of the BIOS.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
That
or
didn't
it's stuck
work.
all over the place. But every Dell in the world has a unique ID, which is called its service tag. And when you ring up Dell for support, whether it's for like the teeniest of tiniest of laptops or the
Okay, this show has really gone down the toilet. Sorry about that scream in the middle there. Like I said, Ada fell and she grabbed hold with her claws into my leg. That was great. Okay, there we go. Claws of Satan sends respect to Clyde. Nice. Yeah, we managed to get rid of Joe, so he'll probably never come back after this, right? All right. Yeah, I didn't get much Tesla in there. She was not intrigued with this entire operation. She thought this whole thing was just silly. And so I don't know why that isn't showing anymore. Okay, Command Y is what I'm supposed to do, right? No, maybe it's Command Shift Y. Let's see. Command Shift Y. Nope. And Y is where it should be. All right. See if that works. I'm not sure this always works. We're going to go ahead and record anyway because we are at the end. Okay, where is my real window for Mars Edit? There you go. We want this one. And we want to go up here to preview. I do have to do a lot of jumbling around when with Mars Edit because everything's on these separate blog posts here, but here we go. Well, that was a scary security light. You know, Bart and I were trying to decide if that was security light or not. I still think it counts because he told you something scary, but he told you what you should do about it. But it still does kind of chill to the bone, doesn't it? Now, I'm afraid that is going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions. Haven't had any good dumb questions in a long time. You need to send in those questions that you're sure that everybody else knows the answer to, but you just don't know what the answer to that question is. That's the idea of dumb questions. Don't send me the hard ones. Send the hard ones over the Mac Geek app. Send me the easy ones. Anyway, you can send those questions, comments, and suggestions to me at allison@podfeet.com. You can follow me on Twitter @podfeet and check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community I was talking about. Man, we were hot and active with the deals this week. George from Tulsa started us off by doing some deals, and we actually made a whole category. So if you ever see a deal, you can jump in and post them in there. So that's a lot of fun. It's at podfeet.com/Google Plus. If you want to join in the fun of the live show like Joe did for the first time, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. See if by some miracle it put it in the right spot. Nope. Nope, not one little bit where it was supposed to be. Huh. Look at that. I wonder if I can cut that and go to the end. It is not acting like it did originally. I do not understand that. And I want to put there. Nope. Nope. It only seems to work if I do that. The only way it does it if I do it visually. Okay, so I got to go check these intersections now.
I mentioned that shows how to add the power of Ubuntu to yours.
I have to say, I was okay. That intersection I didn't manage to screw up. It's forever. Okay, this is still good. Well, all right, that still works. And now we'll go down to here. What is Steve asking? Did you help Leo Laporte with his? Another one is in the can. Oh, Steve's been asking me. Still a bit blown out. Scroll to the relevant text. Remember the beginning music. Yes. Okay, I did do the beginning music. I got that working, but now we got to remember to do the ending music. So we're going to check this location
Until
here.
then, stay patched and stay safe.
Well, that was a scary security light. You know, Bart and I were trying to decide if. Okay, and now we got to do the outro music. So where is the outro music? It is way down here. And I don't know how to. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Well, select this. Okay. It seems to me I should be able to cut that, and I should be able to go down here to the end and put my insertion point, say around here, and say paste. That worked. Ooh, there we go. That might work. Cut and paste worked. I've been looking for how to slide something, and it turns out I can just cut it and then paste it, so it's a little easier. Let's take a listen to that. We were hot and active with the deals this week. George from Tulsa started us off by doing some deals, and we actually made a whole category. So if you ever see a deal, you can jump in and post them in there. So that's a lot of fun. It's at potfeet.com/Google+. If you want to join in the fun of the live show like Joe did for the first time, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Well, that isn't very interesting if you don't hit play. All that time I was listening, not noticing it wasn't playing. Try it again. Man, we were hot and active with the deals this week. George from Tulsa started us off by doing some deals, and we actually made a whole category. So if you ever see a deal, you can jump in and post them in there. So that's a lot of fun. It's at potfeet.com/Google+. If you want to join in the fun of the live show like Joe did for the first time, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. They're all bathroom jokes tonight. Oh, good. All right. I think we are a wrap. Everything looks clean to me. The intro is on. Intro, I've got play on every track. It all looks good to me. Do another save. Do a sound. Bounce document to new file. So I was all excited. Garth Humphrey showed me that in Amadeus Pro, I could add the artwork and all the ID3 tags, and that way I wouldn't have to add them on the onto the with the ID3 editor at the very end, but it turns out Auphonic erases them, so it doesn't do me any good. It loses them, I should say, when I go through that process, so that's unfortunate. All right, and I'm going to save a copy as here as an AIFF, and this is NC_2011. Oh, stop it. C_2011. No, it's 2015. 1129 as an AIFF. There we go. We'll do a save. Hopefully that shows up in the right place. Now we go to, I should show you what happens next. This is exciting stuff. So what I do after this, we'll go here. So I started with, this is the document with all of the tracks. So here's intro, outro. There's George's track. It looks empty because you don't know where I am in the track. But if I'm like around here and I look at George, you should see some George, and I've got the security light. I've got all these tracks, but then I go to sound and I bounce document to new file, which Dan taught me to do. Now, one of the problems here is I Good. The cats are playing with the windows. I used Auphonic on George's audio ahead of time, so that's why his is louder. I probably could have turned that piece off, but I was trying to get rid of the hum when I did that. But anyway, so that's the thing. And then I say file save as, and then I save it as an AIFF, which I just did. So now we are in here, and we're going to NosillaCast audio, and we're down here at this one. Nope, this one. And you'll see it's got the ID3 tags because it's got the NosillaCast logo in there. But we're going to launch Dorothy's amazing service called Podcast Convert. And it is going to launch Auphonic for me. And I always like to check the presets just in case, because I don't think she can load those because this software doesn't work that great. But we're going to process all files. So when this is done, it's going to create the MP3 file. It's going to level the audio, and then she's going to pull it up into ID3 editor, add the ID3 tags, and then I'll be able, it's going to launch, transmit, and it's going to try to upload it, but it's not going to work. That's the part I did. Dorothy didn't do that part. Maybe we should play with that, Dorothy, when we have our play date. We're going to have a play date to watch the All My Children wedding video. It's all the weddings up till, I don't know, maybe a decade ago or so. It should be really fun. We're going to get a box of Kleenex and watch that. So,
which is now on DVD.
Yes, because Steve transcribed it to DVD for us. That guy with the creepy voice tells us. Your voice, you really do sound like somebody creepy, Steve.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez. Well, that was my lamp. That was Ada. Remember what I was telling you today, Dorothy? I was telling Dorothy at the gym today that these cats are a menace. They just knocked over my lamp, and I suspect my Apple Watch stand. Is the lamp still functioning? It's the second time. That was Ada, by the way, not Grace. Grace is busy unplugging your lamp on the other side. I wasn't looking at the cat. I was doing this. So you can see up here, the gear is still running. It's waiting now to find out whether this is finished. Oh, it knows it just finished. And it launches up. Oh my gosh, it might have worked. Whoa, no, it couldn't have worked. Wow. I'll have to check and see if it actually worked. I can't show you that because I got to actually log in and do some stuff. So I am going to call the show, but that was kind of exciting. That might have actually worked. That's very strange. Cats can't live without them. All right, guys. I am going to call the show because I want to go find out. Unfortunately, because of Libsyn's ridiculous interface, I can't just right here in my interface of my FTP client, I can't look and see whether it put the file there. I have to run a link to it and check and see whether it exists yet. So it might have done it. It was awfully fast, though, so I don't think it did. Anyway, I'm very glad you guys all could come, especially Sybil coming back and Laura coming back for a long time. I haven't been here a long time. Great fun to see you guys, but I am going to call it a show. Say goodnight, Steve. Your creepiest voice.
Good night, Steve.
All right, goodbye.